Racist guard blocks. Black woman from boarding private jet, but she calls security on him. Lena Whitfield had always believed in the power of hard work. As the CEO of a tech startup that had recently gone public, she was used to breaking barriers in boardrooms dominated by white men. Yet no boardroom battle had prepared her for what she was about to face that sunny afternoon on the private tarmac of a prestigious airport. But before we dive into what happens next, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop a comment below. Dressed in a sleek navy blue suit with her designer carry-on in tow, Lena approached her private jet with the quiet confidence she had cultivated over years of success. Today wasn't just another business trip, it was a celebration. She had invited her closest friends for a weekend getaway to commemorate her company's milestone. The plane was ready, the champagne was chilled, and her friends were already on board. But as she approached the steps leading to the jet, a tall, burly security guard stepped into her path. "Excuse me, ma'am. This area is restricted," the guard said, his voice firm, eyes cold. Lena blinked, taken aback. "I know, that's my jet." The guard's eyes narrowed. "Ma'am, I think you're mistaken. This jet belongs to a high-profile client. You need to leave." Lena's heart sank. She had experienced racism before, subtle looks, dismissive tones. But this was different. This was outright obstruction, an assumption that she couldn't possibly own something so luxurious. "I'm not mistaken," she said, keeping her voice calm. "My name is Lena Whitfield. I'm the owner of Whitfield Technologies, and I chartered this jet." The guard crossed his arms. "Nice story, but I need to see some ID and proof of ownership. And even then, I'm not sure how you think you can afford this." Lena's patience wore thin. "You didn't ask for ID from the white passengers who boarded before me, did you?" The guard's lips tightened. "I don't know what you're implying, but I'm doing my job." "No!" Lena shot back, her voice rising. "You're abusing your authority, and I'm not going to stand for it." Without another word, she pulled out her phone and called the airport's head of security. "This is Lena Whitfield. I'm on the tarmac, and one of your guards is preventing me from boarding my jet. I need someone here immediately." Within minutes, 2 senior security officials arrived, their faces filled with concern. They listened as Lena recounted the incident, their eyes shifting to the guard, who suddenly looked less sure of himself. "This is unacceptable," one of the officials said, turning to the guard. "Did you not check the passenger list?" The guard stammered. I didn't think." "That's the problem," Lena interrupted, her voice firm but steady. "You didn't think. You saw a black woman approaching a private jet and assumed she didn't belong. You didn't bother to check facts because your prejudice spoke louder than the truth." The senior official nodded. "Miss Whitfield, I deeply apologize. This behavior does not reflect our values. Rest assured, this incident will be thoroughly investigated." Lena's friends, who had come off the jet upon hearing the commotion, stood behind her in solidarity. One of them, a lawyer, whispered, "You could sue." Lena shook her head. "I could, but right now I want to board my jet and enjoy my weekend." As the guard was escorted away, Lena climbed the steps to her jet, head held high. She had faced yet another battle she shouldn't have had to fight, but she had won, not just for herself, but for every person who had ever been made to feel out of place because of the color of their skin. As the jet lifted off, Lena looked out the window, a mixture of pride and sadness washing over her. She knew this wouldn't be the last time she faced discrimination, but she also knew that with each confrontation, she was chipping away at the barriers that still stood in the way of true equality. The hum of the jet engines filled the cabin as Lena settled into her seat, her friends around her offering quiet support. Each of them had seen or experienced prejudice in their own way, but today felt different. It wasn't just a confrontation. It was a reminder that success didn't come with immunity from bias. "Lena, are you okay?" Maya, her oldest friend, asked softly, pouring 2 glasses of champagne. Lena took a deep breath, her fingers tracing the rim of the glass. "I'm tired, Maya. Tired of having to prove myself over and over again. Tired of being questioned, even when I've earned my place." Maya nodded. "You didn't just earn it. You built it. That guard will think twice before he judges anyone again. You handled it with grace." Lena smiled faintly. "Grace? I wanted to scream. I wanted to... She paused, shaking her head. But what would that have accomplished? More than you think, said Jordan, her CFO and confidant. People like him expect anger. They don't expect strength. You didn't just call security. You held up a mirror. Let them see their own ugliness. The jet climbed higher, and the city's skyline faded into clouds. Lena gazed out the window, her mind drifting back to her childhood. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, she had always been taught that she had to work twice as hard to get half as far. Her parents' sacrifices, the long nights studying, the battles in boardrooms, it had all led here. Yet no amount of success had shielded her from this moment. What now? Lena mused aloud. Her friends exchanged glances. Maya spoke first. You could go public, share what happened, use your platform to shed light on it. Lena considered this. As the CEO of a public company, her voice carried weight. A post from her could spark conversations, maybe even change policies. But it also meant exposing herself, opening up to criticism and scrutiny. Or, Jordan suggested, we turn this into something bigger, a foundation maybe, focused on empowering women of color in industries where they're underrepresented. Turn the anger into action. Lena's eyes lit up. A foundation. Imagine the impact we could have. Mentorship programs, scholarships, leadership training, and partnerships with companies to educate their staff on unconscious bias, Maya added. Make sure what happened today happens less often. The cabin buzzed with ideas, the tension of the earlier confrontation dissolving into something powerful. Purpose. They spent the next few hours sketching out plans, each person contributing their expertise. By the time they landed, Lena felt something she hadn't in a long time: hope. As they disembarked, a sleek black car waited to take them to their weekend retreat. But Lena's mind was already on the future. She knew that this incident, as painful as it was, had ignited something much larger. The next day, she sat at her desk, drafting a statement. She wasn't going to name the guard or the airport. This wasn't about shaming individuals. It was about systemic change. Asterisk. Today, I faced a moment that reminded me why we fight for equality, not just in the boardroom, but in every space we occupy. Success doesn't erase bias. Wealth doesn't protect against prejudice. But together we can build a world where our daughters and sons won't face the same battles we did. She paused, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Then, with a deep breath, she added, I'm launching the Whitfield Foundation for Equity and Leadership. Our mission is simple: to empower, educate, and eliminate the barriers that hold us back. When she hit post, the response was immediate. Messages of support flooded in, not just from her followers, but from other CEOs, influencers, and everyday people who had faced similar struggles. Her story resonated. It wasn't just hers, it was theirs too. The incident on the tarmac became more than a confrontation. It became a catalyst. And Lena, as always, was ready to lead the charge. If you enjoyed this story, it doesn't cost you anything and you'll make me very happy. Thank you, and I look forward to your like.